So this is a game called Prince of Persia Forgotten Sands on Nintendo Wii. Now this Wii version is actually a complete different game than the one on the PS3, Xbox 360, and the PSP version, which PSP version is also a completely different game than the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. So just like the rest of the series, you play as the prince and you wish to have your own kingdom and whatnot, but this time you have a companion called the genie. So this is more of a peaceful type of story than the one that you would originally play on the PS3 and 360 version. PSP is the 2D side-scroller one, which I'll probably review some of these ones in some other time whenever I get the chance to beaten the PSP version if I even get it. I've already beaten the 360 version, which I'll probably cover it sometime soon, but I want to talk about the Wii version. That's like the main focus I want to do right now. So there are major gameplay differences that I want to talk about in this one. The combat, well, it's terrible for one, but it's not as bad as anything else you would play on the Prince of Persia series. So when it comes to like the gameplay of the platforming, like wall running, climbing on the ledges and more, there's a lot of differences I've noticed that I've seen from the past games. So here's the biggest differences in this version compared to any other game you would play. So for one, there are creative different ways to actually get to a different platform. For one, you use the Wii remote for most part, and you can point and click on like a wall, and you make your own grapples and find ways to get up to other platforms and other places you need to be, and maybe try to jump onto a ledge where you need to start grabbing it and then climbing up for some more. But there is a time limit to it, so you gotta be very quick when it comes to choosing them wisely. Now, the same applies with the ground one as well, where it can levitate you up in the air and then you can do whatever you need to in case you can't even reach a certain ledge or pole or whatever else you need to do. But like the rest of the series, there is a hourglass control, which there are lives though. It's like if you run all of them out, then if you die next time, well, game over for you. So you have to be really careful. What also helps when it comes to platforming is that there'll be a indicator that'll tell you, hey, you're about to land in this thing, which can really help you at times, which is really a good thing. When it comes to creating the ledges, there's also these color palette ones where if you point at them and then click on them, any of the ones that are there, they'll all become the same thing as you wanted it to be. But if it's a different color, then it's a complete different story, so I'll take that away. But you do have plenty of time, which is a big differences. It doesn't matter if it's ground or on a wall. As long as the color's the same, you'll be fine. But some could probably operate differently, which I will say. This game does come with a bonus though, Prince of Persia from 1992. I've heard it's supposed to be the Amiga version of the game. Now, if you guys were to get the copy, they should have a little slip as to how you unlock it, and you can actually get it pretty early in the game. So once you are familiar with the game itself, if you see the first waterfall, mind you, the first waterfall, there's supposed to be this green potion for you to drink and whatnot. After you grab that, you unlock it, and then you can just play it on there. So basically you just do whatever you want. There's also ways in the game that you can upgrade yourself. Now, if you have enough experience, you can actually upgrade yourself in terms of like platforming or combat wise. Now, there is a few other ways too. Like, there's these blue chests, which can be somewhat hard. It really depends on the location that you can try to get, but that's really all I can say for the chests, because they're supposed to give you some sort of points when it comes to doing that sort of things. There's also these statues where you can also kiss them, so it should do stuff for you as well as the things where you go inside a thing, drink a little fountain thing or whatever it was, and then you get out there and you upgrade your hourglass. So that's all I can say for that one. So at least you get more lives when it comes to hourglass stuff, so that'll be all set for you there. The only way to save your game is if you go to a fountain and drink. So that's pretty much it. Once you drink a fountain, You actually save the game, that's pretty much it. But it's also another way to heal yourself in case you somehow get yourself into trouble. A lot of people seem to really prefer this game over the one on the PS3 or 60, and I really don't blame them. Not only the game looks great on the Wii, but it also runs at 60 frames per second, which I don't think that many Wii games had done it, other than Rodia Sky Soldier, which came out some years later in 2015, which actually has the much better version than the one on the Wii U and the 3DS one, considering it was made by a different developer. I kind of feel like they put some care to this game, maybe because there's so much thoughts they can actually do with like the Wii Remote. They're like, well, what if we just do this Wii Remote where we just point the thing, you go to a thing, and you create your own puzzle, so it's like, you have your own strategy to think, so that way you can figure out where you need to go. I just thought it was like the perfect time to talk about this game too, considering there has been some people that are jumping on the trend wheel and talk about this game, which I can't really blame them, because the term forgotten on the title really tells you something, because unfortunately for the game titles, it doesn't really matter which platform, it didn't sell well, but in 2019 the Xbox 360 version of the game would become backwards compatible. Though I feel like the game is in a short length, but not a bad game by all means. But this would actually come back to the original roots of Sands of Time, considering there were some mixed feelings about the reboot when it came out in 2008. I think you guys will have a lot of fun playing this game, especially when it comes to platforming segments. So yeah, I say definitely go grab this one. It's actually one of the cheapest Wii games you guys can ever grab, so what are you waiting for?